If you are applying for a PhD, one of the biggest decisions you'll make is choosing the right supervisor. This person can make or break your PhD experience. That's a lot of pressure, right? But don't worry. In this video, I am going to walk you through what makes a good supervisor, red flags to avoid, questions you must ask, and how to assess research fit. So the first thing that I want to just kind of throw out there is, why do we need supervisors and why your supervisor matters? So your PhD supervisor will not only guide you with your research and your dissertation, but they will also sign off on different milestones of your progress towards your PhD. They can also connect you to different networks, whether that's at conferences, in the department, or the institution. And they're really there to support you through some of the toughest moments of your PhD career. So that means that you want a supportive or invested supervisor because you're gonna have a better experience with a supervisor like that. If you get one that neglects you or has a toxic environment, then you're not gonna thrive or you're not gonna enjoy your PhD experience. So how do you choose wisely? How do you choose a supervisor that's gonna help you get through your whole entire PhD? So step number one is to find a research fit. In my opinion, this is probably the most important part of finding a supervisor because you want to have a supervisor that's going to be able to guide you through your dissertation or the topics that you are interested in. So ask yourself, does this supervisor work on topics I'm genuinely excited about? Have they published in the areas I want to explore? Can I see myself working in their lab or research group? In order for you to find answers to these questions, I want you to read 2 to 3 articles that they publish that are interesting to you. Are you inspired by them? Do their methods interest you? If not, then they're probably not going to be a good fit. So do this exact thing with multiple people in the department, in the program, as well as every other institution you're applying to. Step number 2 is to check their supervision style. Every supervisor is different. Some of them are more hands-on, some of them are less hands-on, so they require you to be more independent. Some of them require you to be in their lab for the entirety of the day or for a certain amount of hours. Some of them require you to work on their projects and be co-authors, etc. Some of them don't even do anything like that at all. In my personal experience, I had actually 2 different supervisors in my PhD program, and the reason why was because after my first year, my first PhD advisor, she ended up leaving the institution and went to a different institution to teach, and so I was left with having to find a new supervisor. And so that first supervisor was really hands-off. She did not really meet with me. She met with me once per quarter, and so I had to learn how to do more independent work. Once I switched over to my new supervisor, she was very hands-on. She wanted me to meet with her at least every other week, at least every month. She had a required research group that we had to attend to be able to learn more about different topics. And although I thrived with both supervision styles, I honestly liked the more hands-on approach because it held me accountable and I was able to finish my PhD in a timely manner. And so that style really mattered for me, and I'm sure it's gonna matter for you. When you are searching for a supervisor, I want you to find answers to these questions. Do they prefer hands-on mentoring or independent work? How often do they meet with their students? Are they responsive over email? Do they support career development? And so how do you find answers to the questions? The best way to do that is to ask current students they are supervising. So go on the department or program directory and find these students and email them. Here's an example email. So you can say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I am a current student at blah, 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 and I'm interested in applying to this PhD program. I'm considering applying to join this professor's research group. Could I ask you a few questions about your experience? And so doing this will help determine if the supervision's mentoring style is what you're looking for in your own experience. The next thing you want to do is you want to look at their track record. Check how many PhD students they supervised and where their students are now. A great supervisor is going to help mentor you beyond the PhD. Are these students getting positions that you aspire to get? So for example, if you want to become a professor, are these students getting tenure track professor positions right after they graduate? Are they looking at industry? Are they looking at university positions such as like university admin positions? What line of work are they doing after the PhD in relation to the mentorship they're receiving from this potential faculty supervisor. Other questions you want to ask yourself is, do their students publish regularly? Do they go on to good postdocs or jobs? Are the projects collaborative or siloed? If a student has multiple students who've never finished or left the academy, maybe look deeper into why this is happening or if they are a good supervisor. You don't want to end up with a supervisor that's not going to mentor you to your dream job. Step 4 is to watch for red flags. Some signs to be cautious of are they take on too many students, which means that they're not going to have enough time for you. They have a reputation for being unavailable or short-tempered. A PhD could be 5+ years. So you want to have a mentor, a supervisor that's going to be able to walk you through every different milestone of your PhD and be supportive, because it is going to get tough. They've had frequent conflicts with students or staff. You don't want to be in a toxic environment, so you want to make sure that you choose the supervisor that's going to be supportive and that's going to have good relationships with other staff members and their students. You feel talked over or not heard in meetings. You want to make sure that your voice is heard. Your perspective is valuable in your field of study, and so you want to make sure that your supervisor takes your opinions, your innovation, your knowledge, and uses that to catapult different discussions in your meetings, in a department, at your institution. So trust your instincts during your interviews and your email exchanges. If it feels off, then it's probably off and it's not going to be the right choice. If the programs you're applying for require an interview section, make sure you use that interview to your advantage to get more information about potential supervisors. So here are some questions you want to ask during the interview phase of your application process. You can ask the supervisor up front, what is your supervision style? You can ask them, how often do you meet with your students? What are your expectations for publications or conference travel? What funding opportunities are available in your lab? And then, can you speak or can they connect you to some of their students? This will allow you to gain more information about the supervision style and if it's going to be a right fit for you. When you are communicating with a potential supervisor, whether that's in an interview or informally through emails, you can also garner different parts of their personality and values. Your supervisor doesn't need to be your best friend, but they should have shared values with you. Are they respectful and communicative? Do they support mental health and work-life balance? Do they value diversity and inclusion? Remember, you are going to be working with this person for 4+ years, typically 5+ years. And so you want to make sure you have a supervisor that values you, that shares the same values, that allows you to be a person, because academics is not your whole experience, that is going to be supportive when you're facing challenges or maybe life gets thrown at you. You want to have a supportive supervisor. All right, guys. So I hope this video helps you select a PhD supervisor that's going to help you get through the difficult times in your program. Again, you don't want to choose a PhD supervisor because of prestige. You want to choose someone that has the same values that you have, that is supportive, that is communicative, that is inspiring to you, that's going to help lift you up, that's going to help you get that dream job. You don't want one that's toxic. So make sure you use all of these different tips and advice to help you select the best supervisor for your experience. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.